This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 13. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's sake. Our brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 13, is that I came across this article today by the Seattle Times, where they got the source from the Washington Post, and they're reporting how the rising cost of being in the National Guard, reservists, and guardsmen are twice as likely to be hungry. And that's why I brought out the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 13, because America, if your military isn't getting food, their spirit is going to be broken. And that's going to lead to them not wanting to fight in your army, in your military. That's going to lead to sedition. That's going to lead to uproar. And these are the times that we're coming into, because America, you're being brought down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And these articles prove it. You will not win World War III. You will lose. Let's read this article. National Guard and Reserve soldiers are having trouble feeding their families due to a year of record deployments. That's another thing, these ongoing deployments. Constantly, being deployed, either because what's going on here internally in America itself, or being deployed in these endless wars overseas. Once again, if your military doesn't have a good morale, all right, they will not participate in your wars anymore. In fact, they'll fight against you. And this is what we're coming to, We're coming to this. Hunger among Guard members and reservists is more than double the national rate, according to the U.S. Census Bureau data. They make their own tongues fall upon themselves. This is a government institution. This is where the Washington Post got their data from, their source from. Once again, America, you will lose the next world war. And that's scripture. That's prophecy. That's of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. According to the U.S. Census Bureau data from mid-April through early June, they report more food insecurity than nearly any other group, regardless of household income, education, age, or race. Nearly 1 in 5 Guard members report sometimes or often not having enough to eat. This is how you treat your low-pay mercenaries, America? All right, you congressmen, you senators, is this how you treat your soldiers? Yeah, civil war is coming. Satan's house is divided. The numbers are even more troubling for National Guard and Reserve families with children, right? And I've done reports on this. I've done lessons on this. Brothers have done lessons on this. That according to American Food, all right, there's an institution that distributes food throughout the country. They're saying, 1 out of every 4 or 2 out of every 4 children are going to bed hungry, They're having food insecurity or scarcity. Look that up. And it's hitting the military's families too. You're not going to win the next war. In an ordinary year, when they're not activated or deployed, more reservists and guardsmen spend 1 week in a month running drills and 2 weeks a year. Right, they call them weekend soldiers. This schedule allows most of them to work civilian jobs or get an education as well. It's a similar work schedule for reservists who work for different branches of the military. Over the pandemic, the National Guard has faced longer deployments and periods of activation. They've overseen crown testing, distributed food. Wow, that's the irony in that. They're delivering food, but they themselves are not able to feed their own family. At the nation's food banks, quelled civil unrest, and more recently helped to administer jabbies, said John Goheen, spokesman for the National Guard Association of the United States and advocacy group. This is in addition to responding to more natural disasters such as wildfires and floods. Right. So what the Lord is doing, all right, he's breaking the spirit of your soldiers. He's hitting them with all these, okay, different scenarios, and then now they're not able to provide food on the table. This is why a civil war is coming. Okay, and this is all done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because this is judgment being pronounced on America, Babylon the Great. Okay, the National Guard has declared 2020 the year of the Guard, right? Because last year was the most the National Guard has ever been deployed since World War II. All right, you can look that up. But I want to get to a point. Watch this. A service member has to consider promotability and clearance. You can't afford to struggle too bad. You have to keep your bills paid, she said. You can lose your clearance if your finances are in shambles, and that is true. Okay, I can speak personally. When I was in the military, was it 13 years ago, 12 years ago? Okay, that was what was said from our NCOs, non-commissioned officers, and the officers. They're like, you must keep your finances in check, okay, or you could get in trouble. All right, so now because of this pandemic, all right, because they're not able to work at their jobs, because either their employer needed to hire someone else to fill it, or they lost their business themselves because, hey, this pandemic took out a lot of businesses. Hey, now soldiers that want to stay in the military or keep their clearance, they're now having to weigh the options like, whoa, do I eat or do I pay my bills? If it comes between paying the bills and keeping food on the table, there's pressure to pay those bills. And there are concerns about sharing with your leadership that you're struggling to take care of your family because you never want that to come back and haunt you when you're up for promotion. That's right. Okay, also you could get on, I know when I was in active, like Article 15 for not maintaining your finances. Okay, they call it Article 15. You can look that up. But hey, man, that's the point, man. And this is all leading to why the military, your military, America, is not going to want to fight for you anymore. Jeremiah 51:30. The mighty men of Babylon, and who are the modern day Babylon, which is America, all right, they're your soldiers. Those are your mighty men. Have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Right. And a woman, okay, just look at an attribute of a woman. Okay, any sign of stress, any sign of discomfort, okay, she just wants to leave. She wants to get out of that situation. That's how your men have become. So when they are put in a predicament, wait, should I fight a war against these Russians and Chinese while America's screwing me over? Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. I ain't fighting that war. And that's it. That's why you're going to lose. Okay? All right? And you brought it upon yourself, America. All right? You brought it upon yourself. Let's get another article. Also, there's going to be civil war because of this. Because guaranteed, there are some colonels, all right? There are some captains. There are some first-star generals who are seeing these reports, and they're not happy. And they're not happy the way the government is being ran, all right? So these also, the whole vetting process, the whole Trump thing, this is all leading to a civil war. And once the military breaks from within, that's when, okay, bullets start flying and mass casualties. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptian. That's the Lord doing it, all right? He's making sure that your military is divided, all right? And they shall fight everyone against his brother. and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right. So if the military are divided, the people are divided. Okay. And then your adversaries, America, they're seeing it, like China, Russia, Iran. They're gonna be like, yo, this is a perfect time, all right, to get the jump on America. All right, they're not able to handle, okay, their in-house anymore. Okay, they're not able to handle what's it called, their own people, and that's the times that we're living in. Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsels thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards. Right. And people are seeking to them now, and they're getting no answer. That's why everybody's so angry. That's why there's violence in the land. Okay, there's just nothing but bitter hate, because the leaders of this nation don't have the answers anymore. In fact, they'd be found out to be liars, especially with this pandemic. And the last one, 2nd Esdras 15, and I'm going to start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right. So once the military ends up fighting amongst each other, that's it, man. It's gonna be gangland, gang mentality, tribal mentality, okay, ethnic mentality, race mentality, right? All that. 16, for there shall be sedition among men, right? Sedition within the military, and these civilians, you civilians, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? They're not going to listen to Creepy Joe. They're not going to listen to their senators, their congressmen, their mayor. Okay, they're not going to listen to them. All right. And remember, now keep in mind, inflation's kicking up. Wild soldiers are starving, man. So, and now they're saying inflation's a good thing. Yeah, America, you're through. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right. Men are going to fold in these days. That's why, who's the Lord going to be dealing with? A man of the Lord. All right. A man is going to be more precious than fine gold. Okay. Because the Lord, in Babylon, wait a minute, because this is all in Babylon. Let's get Isaiah 13 real quickly, because this is who the Lord is going to be dealing with. These are going to be the real men. All right. The elect. Isaiah chapter 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Right. And if you read Isaiah chapter 13, that's talking about, okay, Babylon. So this is going to be here in Babylon. An elected man are going to be more precious than fine gold, even man that golden wedge of Ophir. Right. And Ophir, okay, that's talking about America. All right. King Solomon sent ships over here to get Ophir to the New World. All right. So this is obviously talking about here in Babylon the Great. And you're going to have the elect men with spiritual powers. Okay. Putting all these men that are hitting the gym. All right. These men that think they got all their guns, you know, all the guns they've been accumulating ain't going to be worth nothing when a spiritual man of the Lord comes in. All right, and rocks your shit. Because, hey, spiritual powers, there's going to be certain men here in the elect in America, Babylon, that are going to have spiritual powers, man. Let's go back to, but you average Joe Blows, you're going to be afraid. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and a great tribulation. Right. And the military is going to be broken up. They're going to do their own thing, and they're going to be like the new gang force. All right. And they're going to go into homes, invading, taking food. All right. Doing what they got to do to survive. So America, do you honestly think your soldiers, a lot of your soldiers are going to have the might, the spirit to fight in your army against Russia and China after these reports? After going through this? Huh? Did they go online and listen to you? That's how we know you're going to lose. That's how we know you're at your end. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right? And disclaimer, there are going to be certain soldiers fighting in World War III. Certain, but not as much. You're going to see heavy sedition. Heavy sedition. Satan's house is broken. Satan's house is divided, man. Okay? The spirit is broken here in Babylon the Great because of your wickedness. This is your judgment. And with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim B'Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the door, keep the faith. As you can see, we're almost out of here. Keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Woo! It's exciting. These articles should excite you. We're at the end of our captivity. And to the few sisters that are watching, keep studying, keep praying. Shalom. And abad babal. Shalom.